Did you know that Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world's lakes combined? That is right. While other countries are counting their lakes in the hundreds or maybe thousands, Canada is sitting on over 2 million lakes. That is 60% of all the lakes on planet Earth. If you tried to visit one lake per day, it would take you over 5,000 years to see them all. But that is just the beginning. Canada is a land of extremes, mysteries, and surprises that most people have never heard about. From frozen tundras to sprawling cities, from peculiar laws to world-changing inventions, this massive nation is full of incredible stories. So buckle up, because we are counting down 50 mind-blowing facts about the Great White North that will completely change how you see this extraordinary country. Fact 50. In 2012, thieves pulled off the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist, stealing over 3,000 tons of maple syrup worth $18 million from Quebec's Strategic Reserve. Yes, Canada has a strategic maple syrup reserve, just like some countries have oil reserves. The syrup was stored in barrels in a warehouse, and the thieves slowly drained them over months, replacing the syrup with water. It remains one of the most valuable heists in Canadian history. Fact 49. Canada is the second largest country in the world by total area, covering approximately 9.98 million square kilometers. Only Russia is larger. You could fit the United Kingdom inside Canada more than 40 times. The country is so massive that it stretches across 6 time zones, meaning when people in Vancouver are having breakfast, people in St. John's are eating lunch. Fact 48. Canada has the longest coastline of any country on Earth, at 202,080 kilometers. That is longer than the circumference of the planet multiplied by 5. If you walk 20 kilometers per day along the coast without stopping, it would take you 27 years to complete the journey. This massive coastline touches 3 different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. Fact 47. There's a town in Canada where polar bears outnumber people. Churchill, Manitoba is known as the polar bear capital of the world, and residents leave their cars and houses unlocked by law so that if someone is being chased by a polar bear, they can jump into the nearest vehicle or building to escape. The town even has a polar bear jail where problem bears are held before being relocated. Fact 46. Canada once had a war against seals. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Canadian government paid bounties for seal noses because they believed seals were depleting fish stocks. Hunters killed hundreds of thousands of seals before scientists proved that seals were not the problem. Today, the seal hunt remains one of Canada's most controversial practices. Fact 45. The border between Canada and the United States is the longest international border in the world at 8,891 kilometers. And it is completely undefended. But here's the wild part. There's a library where the international border runs right through the middle of the building. The Haskell Free Library, an opera house in Stansted, Quebec, and Darby Line, Vermont, has the border marked by a black line on the floor. You can literally stand with 1 foot in Canada and 1 in the United States. Fact 44. Canada has more donut shops per capita than any other country in the world. Tim Hortons serves over 5 million cups of coffee every single day, but the obsession goes deeper. During the 1995 Quebec referendum on independence, some Quebecers threatened to take Tim Hortons with them if they separated. The chain has become such a part of Canadian identity that it is practically sacred. Fact 43. Santa Claus is officially a Canadian citizen. In 2008, Canada's immigration minister announced that Santa had been granted Canadian citizenship. The Canadian government even gave Santa his own postal code, H0H0H0. Every year, Canada Post receives hundreds of thousands of letters addressed to Santa at the North Pole, and volunteers write back to every single child in over 30 languages. Fact 42. Canada consumes more macaroni and cheese than any other nation on Earth. Canadians eat 3.2 boxes per person every year, which is 55% more than Americans. During the Great Depression, Kraft dinner became a staple because a box cost 19 cents and could feed a family. Today, it remains deeply embedded in Canadian culture across all income levels. Fact 41. The town of Saint-Louis-du-Ha, in Quebec, is the only town in the world with 2 exclamation marks in its name. The ha comes from an old French word meaning dead end or unexpected obstacle. But Canadians love to joke that the town is just really enthusiastic about itself. Fact 40. Canada had a prime minister who talked to his dead dog and mother through a crystal ball. William Lyon Mackenzie King, who served as prime minister for over 21 years, regularly held seances to consult with spirits, including his deceased mother, his dog, and even Leonardo da Vinci. Despite this bizarre hobby, he is considered one of Canada's most important leaders. Fact 39. The Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada by a Greek immigrant. In 1962, Sam Panopoulos put canned pineapple on pizza at his restaurant in Ontario and sparked a debate that rages to this day. Love it or hate it, this controversial combination is eaten around the world, and it all started in a small Canadian town. Fact 38. Canada once went to war over a tiny uninhabited island. Hans Island, a barren rock between Canada and Greenland, became the center of the Whiskey War. Danish and Canadian forces would visit the island, plant their flag, leave a bottle of alcohol, and remove the other country's flag. Denmark left Danish schnapps, and Canada left Canadian whiskey. This went on for decades until they finally agreed to share the island in 2022. Fact 37. The Canadian town of Gander, Newfoundland became world famous on September 11, 2001. When United States airspace closed, 38 planes carrying nearly 7,000 passengers were diverted to Gander's airport. The town's population of 9,000 immediately opened their homes, schools, and churches to the stranded travelers, providing food, shelter, and comfort for days. This incredible act of kindness inspired the hit Broadway musical Come From Away. Fact 36. Canada has a desert. The Osoyoos Desert in British Columbia is the only true desert in Canada, complete with rattlesnakes, scorpions, and cacti. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 40 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest places in Canada. Most people think Canada is all snow and ice, but this desert proves the country's incredible diversity. Fact 35. Basketball was invented by a Canadian. James Naismith created the game in 1891 to keep his students active during winter. The first game used a soccer ball and peach baskets. Ironically, Canada did not win an Olympic gold medal in basketball until 2000 in wheelchair basketball, while the sport Naismith invented became an American cultural phenomenon. Fact 34. The longest street in the world was in Canada. Yonge Street in Ontario was listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest street at 1,896 kilometers. Although the record has since been disputed and the measurement changed, Yonge Street remains one of Toronto's most important thoroughfares and has been vital to the city since the late 1700s. Fact 33. Alert! Nunavut is the northernmost permanently inhabited place in the world, sitting just 817 kilometers from the North Pole. During winter, the sun does not rise for 4 months straight. During summer, it does not set for 4 months. Temperatures can drop below minus 40 degrees Celsius. Despite these extreme conditions, a small group of people live there year-round, operating a military station and weather facility. Fact 32. Canada is home to the world's longest beaver dam, located in Wood Buffalo National Park. The dam measures 850 meters long and is so large it can be seen from space. Beavers built this massive structure over several decades, and it continues to grow. The beaver is Canada's national animal and appears on the nickel coin. Fact 31. Newfoundland has its own time zone that is 30 minutes ahead of everyone else. Newfoundland Standard Time is one of only a few half-hour time zones in the world. The reason dates back to before Newfoundland joined Canada in 1949, when the island wanted solar time that matched the sun's position. Newfoundlanders proudly maintain this quirky tradition. Fact 30. Canada has the most educated population in the world. Over 56% of Canadian adults have completed tertiary education, the highest rate of any country. The Canadian government invests heavily in education, and universities attract students from around the world. This educated workforce has helped position Canada as a leader in technology and innovation. Fact 29. The Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia has the highest tides in the world. The difference between high and low tide can be as much as 16 meters, equivalent to a 5-story building. Twice daily, 160 billion tons of seawater flow in and out of the bay. That is more than the combined flow of all the world's freshwater rivers. You can walk on the ocean floor at low tide where boats were floating hours earlier. Fact 28. Canada once had a war on its own soil. During the War of 1812, British and Canadian forces defended against American invasion. Canadian and British troops actually invaded the United States and burned Washington, including the White House, in retaliation for Americans burning York, which is now Toronto. Since then, Canada and the United States have been peaceful neighbors and close allies. Fact 27. The Canadian $2 coin is called the toonie, and the $1 coin is called the loonie because it features a common loon. When the loonie was introduced in 1987, the master dies were lost in transit and never recovered. Somewhere out there, someone could theoretically mint perfect counterfeit loonies. The government created new dies, but the original ones remain missing to this day. Fact 26. Montreal is the second largest French-speaking city in the world after Paris. Over 4 million people in the Montreal area speak French. The city blends European charm with North American energy, and many residents speak both French and English fluently. Some areas of Montreal are more French than France itself, with stricter language laws protecting the French language. Fact 25. Canada has no weapons of mass destruction and is one of the few developed nations to completely renounce them. During the Cold War, Canada hosted American nuclear weapons, but removed them all in 1984. Since then, Canada has been a vocal advocate for nuclear disarmament and often takes leadership roles in international peacekeeping rather than military aggression. Fact 24. The word Canada comes from a misunderstanding. French explorer Jacques Cartier arrived in 1535, and local Indigenous people used the word Canada, meaning village, to refer to a settlement. Cartier thought they were naming the entire region. By 1545, European maps were using Canada to label the area. The second largest country on Earth got its name from a simple mistake. Fact 23. Canada produces 77% of the world's maple syrup, with most coming from Quebec. The industry is so important that Quebec regulates production through a crown corporation called the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers. They control supply, set prices, and maintain that strategic reserve that was robbed in 2012. It is basically OPEC for maple syrup. Fact 22. The Trans-Canada Highway stretches 7,800 to 21 kilometers from Victoria, British Columbia to St. John's, Newfoundland. Driving the entire highway non-stop would take 80 hours, but most travelers take weeks to complete the journey. The highway passes through all 10 provinces and connects countless small towns and major cities, serving as the nation's primary artery. Fact 21. Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. With over 2 million lakes covering about 9% of Canadian territory, the country holds more fresh water than any other nation. Some of these lakes are so remote they have never been visited by humans and do not even have names. Fact 20. The Mall of America in Minnesota was designed, built, and is owned by Canadians. The same Canadian company, 555 Group, owns West Edmonton Mall, which was the world's largest mall when it opened in 1981. West Edmonton Mall is so massive, it contains an amusement park, water park, ice rink, mini golf course, and even submarines. It is like a small city under one roof. Fact 19. Canada has the largest population of polar bears in the world, with 15,000 to 20,000 bears. That is roughly 2/3 of the global polar bear population. These magnificent animals are found throughout Canada's Arctic regions. As climate change affects Arctic ice, Canada plays a crucial role in polar bear conservation. Fact 18. The Canadian Armed Forces have a division of soldiers trained to fight in the Arctic. The Canadian Rangers patrol the most remote and isolated regions of Canada, often traveling by snowmobile and dog sled. Many Rangers are Indigenous people with intimate knowledge of the harsh Arctic environment. They serve as the eyes and ears of Canadian sovereignty in the far north. Fact 17. Canada has 6 time zones spanning from Pacific to Atlantic. When it is noon in Vancouver, it is 4:30 in the afternoon in St. John's, Newfoundland. This vast time difference can make coordinating meetings and phone calls across the country challenging. Canadians have become accustomed to mentally calculating time zones when communicating nationally. Fact 16. The magnetic North Pole is located in Canadian territory in the Arctic, though it is constantly moving toward Russia. The pole moves approximately 55 kilometers per year due to changes in the flow of molten iron within Earth's outer core. Scientists track this movement carefully because it affects navigation systems worldwide. Fact 15. Canada invented the Caesar cocktail, often called the national drink. Created in Calgary in 1969, it is made with vodka, clamato juice, hot sauce, and Worcestershire sauce, typically garnished with celery. Over 350 million Caesars are consumed annually in Canada. Oddly, this beloved Canadian cocktail is virtually unknown outside the country. Fact 14. The town of Churchill, Manitoba has a polar bear alert program with a dedicated hotline. When bears wander into town, conservation officers respond to tranquilize and relocate them. Repeat offender bears are held in a polar bear holding facility, nicknamed the Polar Bear Jail, where they stay until Hudson Bay freezes and they can be released back onto the ice. Fact 13. Canada has more coastline than any other country at 202,080 kilometers, and much of it remains wild and undeveloped. The northern coastlines are home to beluga whales, narwhals, and polar bears. The Pacific coast features temperate rainforests and thousands of islands. The Atlantic coast is dotted with fishing villages and dramatic cliffs. Fact 12. Approximately 30% of Canada is covered by forest, making it home to 9% of the world's forests. Canada contains more boreal forests than any other country, stretching from the Yukon to Newfoundland. These forests play a crucial role in global carbon storage and are home to countless species of wildlife. Fact 11. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are one of the most recognizable police forces in the world, known for their red serge uniforms. However, they no longer use horses for regular patrol duties. Horses are now used primarily for ceremonial purposes, such as the musical ride, a choreographed equestrian performance that tours worldwide. Fact 10. Canada is the world's largest producer of mustard seed, producing 85% of global supply. Saskatchewan alone grows more mustard than any other region on Earth. Canadian mustard seed is exported worldwide and used to make the yellow mustard found on hot dogs and hamburgers everywhere. Fact 9. The Hudson's Bay Company is the oldest commercial corporation in North America, founded in 1670. It predates Canada itself by nearly 200 years. The company began as a fur trading business and played a crucial role in exploring and developing Western Canada. Hudson's Bay point blankets with their distinctive colored stripes have been produced since the 1780s. Fact 8. Canada has the world's longest skating rink. The Rideau Canal Skateway in Ottawa stretches 7.8 kilometers when fully frozen, equivalent to 90 Olympic ice hockey rinks. During winter, tens of thousands of people use the skateway daily, commuting to work or enjoying recreational skating while eating beaver tails, a fried dough pastry. Fact 7. Niagara Falls attracts approximately 14 million visitors annually. While not particularly tall compared to other waterfalls, the sheer volume of water makes it spectacular. More than 2,800 cubic meters of water flow over the falls per second during peak tourist season. The Horseshoe Falls, the largest of the three falls, is almost entirely on the Canadian side. Fact 6. Canada built the first UFO landing pad in St. Paul, Alberta in 1967 as a centennial project. The platform serves as a symbol of keeping space free from human warfare. It includes a time capsule and is marked with a sign welcoming alien visitors. While no confirmed alien landings have occurred, it remains a unique roadside attraction. Fact 5. The Canadian Arctic archipelago contains 94 major islands and thousands of smaller ones, making it one of the world's largest archipelagos. Baffin Island alone is bigger than Spain. This vast network of islands is home to unique Arctic wildlife, including narwhals, beluga whales, Arctic foxes, and muskoxen. Fact 4. Canada has not had a military coup, dictatorship, or civil war since its founding. The country has maintained stable democratic governance and peaceful transitions of power throughout its history. This political stability, combined with respect for rule of law, has made Canada an attractive destination for immigrants seeking safety. Fact 3. The Canadian national anthem, O Canada, was originally written in French in 1880, but was not officially adopted as the national anthem until 1980, a full century later. Before that, God Save the Queen served as the de facto anthem. O Canada has official lyrics in both English and French. Fact 2. Canada has the 4th lowest population density in the world, with only 4 people per square kilometer on average. Approximately 90% of the population lives within 160 kilometers of the United States border, leaving enormous stretches of the country as wild, pristine wilderness. Some areas of northern Canada are essentially uninhabited. Fact 1. Canada is a nation of contradictions and extremes. It has a strategic maple syrup reserve, its own UFO landing pad, gave citizenship to Santa Claus, and fought a polite war over an island using bottles of alcohol. From coast to coast to coast, Canada defies simple description. It is a country built on diversity, natural beauty, and a quiet sense of possibility. And there you have it, 50 fascinating facts about Canada that reveal just how unique this country really is. If you enjoyed learning about the Great White North, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more incredible facts, and let us know in the comments which facts surprised you the most. Thanks for watching.